If your house has an electric dryer, you're dumping hot air outside instead of using that air to heat your home. Today, I'll show a cheap and easy way that I get free heat every time I do a load of laundry. First of all, this can only be done with an electric dryer. You can't do this with a gas dryer because carbon monoxide will vent into the house and you'll take a long nap and never wake up again. I'm already paying for the electricity to heat the element inside the dryer that dries the clothes, and then that hot air just vents outside. So every fall when the furnace starts running a lot, I bring this contraption up from the basement. I disconnect the house vent tube from the back of the dryer and install this flexible 4-inch dryer hose. This is 8 feet long and it's like 13 bucks on Amazon. It comes with a pair of clamps too. I'll put links for all these parts in the description. Now the other end of the hose connects to this quick release coupler, and this is made by Dryer Dock. It comes with 2 pieces that can lock together and they're 10 bucks for the set. Now this flexible hose is pretty thin, so it's not a bad idea to get a little roll of foil tape in case you get a puncture, especially to reinforce the ends where the clamps will be tightened down. Foil tape is like $6. Now for the fancy part. I used an old bin that we had for recycling. A 5-gallon bucket works just as well, and you can get one with a lid for like 5 bucks. I like this one because it's clear, and I can monitor the water from the outside. Whatever you use, just make sure it has a removable lid. I had to cut a hole in the center of the lid to mount the other half of the quick release coupler. The coupler has 3 holes to attach with screws. Next, I drilled smaller holes in the lid with the 1-inch drill bit. I did 8 1-inch holes all the way around to allow plenty of airflow. Now, here's another important note. Even though there's a lint trap on the dryer, some lint still gets by. The screen doesn't catch it all. Normally, it ends up outside, but now it's going to be venting into my house, and I don't want to breathe in that dust. To prevent that from happening, simply put some water in the bucket. When the air enters from the dryer, it blows against the water and the lint gets caught on the surface and sinks, but the hot air bounces back up and out of the vent holes and into the house. A minimum of 2 or 3 inches at the bottom is enough water to catch the lint. Every couple weeks, I dump out the water and replace it with fresh water. So this entire setup is about $35 if you have to buy everything. Does it work? Absolutely. And I'll prove it. I'm in northern Ohio, and our house is heated by a heat pump, which is less than a year old. We keep our house at 68 degrees to save money. Now, unless the heat pump is running in emergency mode, which really racks up the electric bill, the air coming out of the vent isn't actually that hot. I have a thermal imaging camera here, and as you can see, the air coming out of the vent is max about 86.5 degrees. By the way, one of these are very useful for going through your house and finding all the areas where cold is entering. For example, right up here in the corner, you can see we've got a pretty cold spot, about 60 degrees. So there's probably not enough insulation on the other side of that wall. And have a check around all your door and window seals as well, because look at this. Right here, you can see we're at 57 degrees, so there's definitely some cold air leaking in around the door, especially down there in that bottom corner. Hey kitty. This thing's fully heated up now. You can see the machine itself is about 100 degrees, and the tube is 95 degrees. Let's go see what kind of air we're putting out of the free heat. So now the air temperature coming out is about 98, 99 degrees. And not only is that air warm, that air is also humid. In the wintertime, here in Ohio at least, the air gets really dry, and I'm always having to run a humidifier in the house so that I'm not getting static shocks every time I touch something metal. So I'm getting free heat that would otherwise be dumped outside. I'm getting humidity to help keep the air from getting too dry, and without the air being pushed outside, there's not a vacuum which pulls more cold air into the house through all the cracks, so I'm drawing less cold air into the house as well.